Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your July 2025 reading. My name is NiJiLL, and you have found Alchemy. Okay, so as promised, I repulled the cards from your summer 2025 overview. If you haven't watched that, I invite you to. It's just a brief reading to an overview of your entire summer. And as promised, I repulled them so we could build a reading around them. Also, I wanted to share with you that these cards down here are fairy cards. I haven't used them in years, honestly. And because I pulled them out to use them this time, I wanted to share with you this story. This is actually soil that I took from Ireland, right? It was an old legend. The townsfolk told us to walk up this dirt road. I'm trying to summarize this as much as possible. Walk about a half mile up this dirt road. There was this giant tree, beautiful tree. The locals call it a fairy tree. If you tie a ribbon on the fairy tree, it's legend has it that your wish will come true. Yes, my wish did come true, by the way. But this is the soil. I brought back some of the soil from the tree, and to commemorate the use of the fairy cards, I figured I would pull out the fairy soil. So hopefully the fairies will definitely bless this reading. So now these cards, we do not take in reverse. We do take them sideways. To reiterate, these are your three legs. I've broken your month up into three sections. And yes, the last leg can come first. And it's definitely not a science, Taurus. So when I say first leg, for some of you, this might be the beginning of the month. But for some of you, it might not be. It might be mid-month. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. We're going to start with your overarching cards, and of course we'll re-summarize this, so this way you're not completely lost if you did not watch that reading. I'm going to move some of this out of the way because space is always at a premium here. Let's see. So we are going to start with, here you have beautiful energy here with the 10 of Pentacles, and in this particular deck, it is just Earth. It is just associated with Earth. A lot of times it is Mercury and Virgo energy from many other decks. But for this deck, the only association they give it is Earth. It is the alternative card. It is a massive deck. There's many cards in it. And this is one of the 10 of Pentacles cards. And it definitely reeks of financial stability, long-term success. Some of you arrive here in the month of July. Some of you are on a fast track, headed very, very clearly towards this energy. And some of you are locked in place already and thinking about what's next. But your future is here on the table, and your future looks great. The 10 of Pentacles is one of the best financial cards you can get for long-term success, not just quick luck. Here you have, excuse me, you do have the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is Venus in Scorpio energy. And this obviously looks like choices, right? Decisions, so many different roads. What's next, right? Trying to make a decision. We actually just said that, right? For some of you, it is a what's next type thing. I've achieved X, Y, and Z. What do I want next? You do have here the Page of Wands. And with these overarching cards, these large cards, I do not take them in reverse, but I do take note of when they come in reverse. And this was one of the cards that did come in reverse. And the Page of Wands is Mercury and Sagittarius energy. And your page usually represents here a new spark, something brand new. You may waffle, right, between these two oracle cards here, because you have the page in reverse and then the page is straight. And so we have something you're guarded. You could be guarded with something, and there's that spark we spoke of, right? Because the Page of Wands is a fire sign, and the Page of Wands is always a new spark, a renewal, right? And then, you might be resistant to it. You might waffle back and forth, for sure. You do have somebody in your life here. This is the Queen of Cups energy. And the Queen of Cups here is Moon in Cancer, and she's truly upright. So this is a person who feels very grown up, offers something of value to you. That cup that she offers is truly, it's not a page's cup, it's not a knight's cup. It is a cup that has value. Look at it. It's beautiful. It is ornate. It is covered. She does not offer this to everybody and anybody. So what you're being offered here is something of value, okay? It is something of value. You have here the, and here it is, you have the Ace of Cups coming in prominently, and this is pure water energy. But there it is. There is that cup. There is that beautiful cup. The cup that she is offering is something of value. It is something that can be a building block to other things. It is a thing of beauty. And here it is. You have the Hierophant coming in reverse, right? And that we know is the card of Taurus. But man, how many times has this come out in reverse? It happens in every reading, at least the last few months. And it's pretty, you know, and I always tell you the same thing. It is your time to think out of the box. The way you have always done things will not work in this situation. And I really do think it's a love situation. So I think there's obviously two things happening. You're thinking about your future. You're thinking about maybe what's next. You're thinking about your career and your goals, but you also have this other thing. And you know, some of you may be trying things that have always worked, not to say in a nefarious way, but you're saying, okay, this is what's always worked, but for some reason it's not working here, or it won't long term. It will not help you to get where you're going with this person. You do here have you have another ace. You have an Ace of Pentacles, pure earth energy. And this is something of value, right? So it is two things. You're being offered a cup and you're being offered a pentacle. So don't be surprised if you have some sort of offer that comes in or some sort of opportunity that comes in work-wise. But you also have something else here, and something of I mean, it's true abundance, because you have all the things you could possibly want. Plus you have, it looks like, the love or the true love of someone else. The two aces represent a new start in pretty much every aspect of your life. Now you have, when we add this up and we break it down, we do get Venus energy, and there's no surprise there, right? Venus rules our hearts, our beauty, but it also rules our money. So everything is present here in this pull. Now we might as well start over here. Okay, let's start over here. You have conjunction. That doesn't really surprise me. It says integration, synergy. I can't say it. Unity. Yeah, you're coming together with something or someone else. I mean, basically that's what we said right here. You also have Mars, competition, action, willpower. Mars is also the planet of passion, right? Assertiveness, passion. Mars can be looked at as very passionate energy towards someone else. It could also be looked at as very assertive energy in business. But you have that Mars energy, and it is the ruling planet of Aries. You have supermoon. It says luminosity, intimacy, hyper awareness. You are going to be, and I'm not taking that as a timing card, because we know the supermoons basically come in the fall. But here you go. You have this hyper awareness of another. And it is definitely intimate. It is an intimate feeling. You have Sagittarius here on the table, and it says adventurous, free, and philosophical. So you have the sign of Sagittarius. I mean, you have two fire signs, you know, clearly in this reading. In Sagittarius, the ruling planet is Jupiter. So you have fire signs that are seriously connected to this reading in some way. Somebody might be involved with a Sagittarius, or somebody with Sagittarius highly aspected in their chart, and somebody might be, it could be an Aries type situation here. What's interesting here, Taurus, is you pulled Pluto. And if you look at your summer reading, your overarching energy for the summer, for the entire summer, was also Pluto. It was a different deck, same exact card. So Pluto somehow is important in your summer, and it's definitely important in your July, right? And Pluto, as we know, as most of us know anyway, is in Aquarius right now. And Aquarius is associated with revolution and change, right? And Pluto represents death, transformation, rebirth, right? Outdated situations or ways of thinking may be dismantled and reinvented. You could be reinventing yourself. You could be reinventing the way you do things. You could be recognizing a pattern that no longer suits you, maybe always suited you, and it just isn't doing it now, right? It really depends on what you're looking for the rest of your life here. You have the South Node. Now, when the South Node comes out, this is your comfort zone. So, so like I said, some of you may be clinging to a comfort zone. Some of you may be, it may be very uncomfortable. I know some Taurians would take that as a, definitely take it as a challenge. I'm going to challenge myself and make these changes because it's challenging. They love challenges. Other Taurians do not like change. Period. End of story. They don't like change. Depends which group you fall into here, Taurus. But you do have in the Lenormand deck, you have the lady and the child. And the lady and the child, this obviously denotes a mother-child relationship could be very important to you. Let me see if I could straighten this out. Could be very important to you. And or could have been very important to you in the past. Something that it matters right now for some reason. It really does. Your relationship with your mother is on the table. Now, if you're a mother, your relationship with your child is on the table right now. But there is a mother-child relationship that is on the table for July in a very, very important way here, Taurus. So moving to the side, you have the card of magic. And this is number 43 in this deck. And this is a fire-air combination. So you have more fire energy on the table. There's fire energy that's highly aspected in this reading so far, right? And with this card, with magic, it's telling you that doubt kills more dreams than failure does, right? And it's telling you to have faith in your ability, whether it's your ability to change a pattern that may no longer suit you, or to take on a brand new goal, or to really submerge yourself in a relationship, There is something here that you're being called to look at for sure. And you have the earth. It says earth pulsing, the pulse of the mother. Slow down, time and nature. And there's a mother aspect again for at least one of you. This has something to do with your mother, for sure. Whether your mother's alive or not, whether your mother is estranged from you or not, there is something to do with a mother for at least one of you, and I have a feeling it's more than one of you. But for others of you, with the Earth pulsing card, somewhere along the way, and both of these things might be true, Taurus, somewhere along the way a severing happened. There was a severing that took place, a tearing of what grounded you at one point. Something tore you from that grounded thing. And what made you feel whole at one time. Now, did it happen very slowly where you didn't realize it? Or was it such a shock that you no longer, you sort of repress it? You don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about the impact that it might have had on you. It's one of those things. There is something that you were torn from that had a very big grounding energy. That was very, very good. Very, very good. It could have been a relationship, could have been a person, could have been this mother figure that we had. But there is something that you are being asked to look at. Okay? Now you have a couple of things here. Now these cards are the cards of what may be in someone's head around you that they're not sharing, at least when you're listening to this reading. And you have trick and greed. But it is right next to the business card here. So this might have something to do with work. Honestly, this might have something to do with work. There is somebody around you that may be greedy, may be asking a lot of you. It says, I'm pursuing wealth and power with no regard for ethical or moral boundaries. This could be someone that you're already kind of aware of in your world, or this may come as a surprise to you. And here it says trick. It says, I have ill intentions and I may be planning on deceiving you. That's not a comfortable energy. Maybe that's why Spirit is asking you to really look at your long-term goals. I think you're going to be presented with something, but let's see. I don't want to get ahead of myself and be wrong here. But you have here, now this is my my Norse card, Femra. Now, this is an interesting card. The Norse gods have a lot of mythology that surround them, and I can get in the weeds with this, so I'm trying really hard not to do that because I just want to get to the point for you. When you pull this card, you are being asked to turn your deepest traumas into your most profound aspect. The severing we talked about up there in the Earth card, right, is right here. And this may be a side of you that you do not show. You may repress it in some way. You can tell that the look on this animal's face is not good. There is something that may have made you very ungrounded, very, very sad, but also very angry. And the angry part of this could very well be something that you, I want to say repress, but I don't know if repress is the right word. You just push away, right? Or something like that, which I could understand, right? This may be your anger after being torn from something that grounded you. Now, you may ask yourself, or you may have asked yourself, was this something that happened to you haphazardly, or was this your destiny all along? You're being asked to address the rawest, darkest aspect of yourself this month. And you could choose to channel that into something that's really solid for you. And this could have something to do with the love you're being offered by this queen, by this cup. But you need to address something. There is something you need to address. There is something you need to synthesize. And there is something that you need to sort of approach differently to get the most out of it for you. Okay? Because here you have the blank ruin. And I love this because this means that some things are predestined, but many things we can write ourselves. With the blank ruin, anything is possible. And you have more control over your life than you may think. You can control it. You can write the narrative. Now, here are your letters. You have T, Z, N as in Nancy, C, Q, and E. Now, these letters might be someone's initials. It might be, like I always say, a restaurant, a street name, a company name, an airport, but something like that. One of these or all of these will mean something to you by the end of the month if they don't mean something right now here, Taurus. Now, like I said, here are your 3 legs. Let's get started here. And here you have fire again, right? Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. I mean, I'm telling you, so this fire is big time important this month. All right, big time. You have the 10, and here it is, the 10 of autumn. And the 10 of autumn is extremely tied to the 10 of pentacles, which came out for you when we did your summer reading. It says, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children. And your children could be your unborn children, right? Or your grandchildren, or your future in general. Making wise investments and planning for retirement. Yeah, it's definitely long-term. It's long-term everything, right? This is, by the way, this is Virgo. Family trees, financial security, business investments. There's a happy family pictured here. And they're pictured beneath the harvest of a pear tree. And the pears are symbols of prosperity, and they will be fruitful in years to come, right? It's a tree that's going to keep bearing fruit each year for you, and that's probably either what you've attained or what your goal is to attain here. And I'm telling you, there's fire highly aspect in this reading. There is fire signs all over this reading, so take that for what it's worth. You do have the Lovers here, and that's coming in sideways. It says, true love that is long-lasting, choices made from the heart. A return to good health, could be health, but I don't think so. I'm not saying your health isn't good. It probably is great, but I'm talking about the love situation here. And that is why it's coming in sideways here. Gemini energy, even in this deck, right? But yeah, I mean, it's your choice whether you want to address this differently. It's your choice whether you want to let this pass you by. Now, listen, I'm not saying it'll be your last chance. I mean, it could be. We just don't know, do we? But it's a good chance. I have to tell you, this is really good energy here, Taurus. I don't think you should let it go. I don't think you should treat it the way you have treated other things in your past. You have to treat it as special as it actually is, okay? Treat it differently. Approach it differently. Let this person look at you and say, hey, this person is serious, right? I could feel the groundedness in which they're coming to me and really presenting me with X, Y, and Z. You want them to feel that it's real. Okay, definitely. You do have here the 7 of autumn coming in sideways as well, and that's more Virgo energy. But you have, like, this is an increase in income that you're going to have to make a decision about. Remember when I said you're going to have some kind of an offer or some kind of an opportunity, right? You may see a job that you're perfect for and apply for it, or someone may offer you something that you have applied for. There is some sort of opportunity being presented to you. And there's two different things going on here for sure. Okay. But this is an increase in income. It's time for a payoff, right? And this is a very slow and steady progress, right? This is not something that's going to come overnight. This is what you want. You want slow and steady progress because that's what's lasting, and you have it here. You're long lasting. When we add this column up and we break it down, we get Mercury, we get number 5, and it's interesting to note that in July, Mercury goes into retrograde on July 17th. Which means pretty much the whole month, right? I mean, because you have the shadow, you have the pre-shadow, you have all this stuff. By the time you get done with all that stuff, you have a few decent days without Mercury retrograde, but most of it will be retrograde. And so this is going to be somehow important here. That Gemini Virgo energy is going to be somehow important to you this month here, Taurus. Now here in your second leg, you have renewal and decisions. And there it is. There's that spark. Now, usually, it's very rare to get double cards, but I do work with a double deck, and here it is. I mean, you are being offered a renewal of some kind, a spark, something new, something really solid, something exciting, you know? So you have renewal and decisions about that, right? And we talked about that here in your overarching cards with that page coming in reverse and then upright. Decisions that need to be made for sure. Right? About some kind of opportunity, some kind of relationship. You have stuff to think about here. You do have the 3 of summer coming in first. And this is definitely news worth celebrating. So this is like announcements, weddings, graduations, births, engagements. Could be something like that. Pregnancies, weddings, or it could be becoming part of a really close-knit community in a job, right? It could be that too. It's a celebratory energy. It is some sort of thing that happens that creates a celebratory energy, which is really good. You have the Prince of Autumn as your center card. And the Prince of Autumn is a very dependable, protective, chivalrous, kind of funny person. And you know, he could be a she. This person is cautious but wise, very meticulous, enjoys seeing kindness in other people. Definitely a message. This could be a message from your higher power. Okay, could be a message from your higher power. It could be a message from yourself. It could be a well-formed plan. Something that you are putting into motion by the planning stages here. You do have the Queen of Autumn. I like that. You have a lot of autumn cards here. And, you know, the Queen of Autumn is definitely Capricorn energy. It's definitely a giving person. And I have this feeling it is tied to this Queen of Cups, right? Somebody who's giving, somebody who's nurturing. They love nice things, right? They have beautiful taste. But they're fair, very fair, right? Prosperity is represented here by the rabbit that's clearly on this picture, and which means fertility in all forms. This person is fertile for you. This person is really good for you here, Taurus. Really good for you. You need to make some decisions here. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Jupiter energy, which is the ruling planet of Sagittarius, and it is luck, bounty, optimism, expansion. Really nice energy. Here in your third leg, you have Uranus, which is the ruling planet of Aquarius again here. You have opportunities. Yeah, I told you you're going to have some opportunities here. You are. Let's see. You have the Queen of Spring. We have a lot of queens in this deck. I mean, in this reading, yeah, a lot of queens. Interesting. But the Queen of Spring here is the Sagittarius. And this is somebody who's carefully contemplating their next step. This actually could be you, whether you're male or female. It could be someone around you, for sure. But this is someone who is passionate, attractive, independent, right? They have independent energy. And they're determined to do X, Y, and Z. Very, very determined, fiery type energy. You have a Princess of Winter, which is Libra energy, right? And, you know, the Princess of Winter it tells us the need to communicate very, very clearly. And that is so true during a Mercury retrograde. Choose your words very carefully, please. Okay? Very carefully. You may be receiving a communication. You may want to communicate with someone else. Be crystal clear. Don't leave anything up to interpretation. Not this month. Not a good, it definitely isn't. You have the 5 of winter here, and that's coming in after that. And the 5 of winter is, Taurus energy. But you're going to figure out, and I don't think it has anything to do with your relationship. I think it has something to do with your job or your career or money, right? You're going to figure out that something's not worth the effort, and that walking away from any kind of dishonest association or something that's been draining you and going towards something else is probably going to be better for you. And that's probably where that's probably what the opportunity is about here. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mercury again. So very, very clear with your communication is very important. That Gemini Virgo energy it's going to be very important for you to be clear, and for you to and very important for you to understand what it is someone else is saying. Ask for clarification if you need to here, Taurus. So in your challenges, you have messages in your challenges. It says messages in your dreams, and that could be for some of you if you're extremely intuitive that way. But I do think that there's going to be a message of some kind coming in that's going to be rather important somehow, and perhaps even a little challenging. You do have Temperance, which is more fire, right? It's the card of Sagittarius here. And when you look at this card, you have a lot of interesting symbols on it. There's an angel. She's pouring water. It's the water of life, really, right? From one cup to another. Her robe has the symbols of spirit, soul, and body. And this angel, from this particular deck anyway, is here to ask, what's out of balance in your life? What do you need more of or less of? What do you need to restore to achieve harmony? There's something either missing, or there's too much of something, or there's not enough of something else. There's something out of whack here, okay? You have, and we don't take these in reverse, but you have the Death card, and you have this side of the Death card. Love this side, actually. This is Scorpio energy, which is what? Pluto energy, again. But what's great about this particular side is, like death, right? It comes for all of us, for sure. But this side of the card explains that you have been given a chance to prove yourself and change the outcome of something. Be positive here, because you're being given a chance at a rebirth with something. You're being given something, for sure. Something that has a tremendous value. You do. And here it is, the 10 of Pentacles yet again. This is the 3rd time, 3 different decks this has come out. This is true Mercury and Virgo energy in this deck, but still. Your long-term future is on the table. The decisions you make this summer are going to have very long-reaching tentacles into your future. So choose wisely, right? Definitely. Now, what's interesting about this card here? Let me see. You see the tower in the distance there? Right there? There's a tower in the distance, and it's different from this side, isn't it? See? So you see the tower, and you see the 2 people here. And I think that the tower in the distance may be the tower from the previous card, the 9 of Pentacles in this deck. And the 2 people here may be the people from that card. If you remember correctly, there was a girl walking. There was I don't know if you've watched my readings before, but in the tower, there was a guy trying to get her attention. And it was really an interesting card. At least that side of the card was. And the message here is to leave whatever tower you have constructed and free yourself of it. Because what awaits you is promised to be a reward that's like 1,000 times better than what you have experienced so far. That's a nice message. But it's going to be a challenge for you somehow, some way. When we add this up and we break it down, guess what we get? We get Pluto again. Death as rebirth. Different deck, different day, same card, right? Retrograde. There's a retrograde, a Pluto retrograde in May. And it's going to stay that way until October. It started in May. It's going to stay until October. So we're in the middle of it right now. And this may expose buried emotions, buried truths, power dynamics. And you may reflect and reassess, and it really sort of goes with everything that we've been talking about in this reading here, Taurus. Let's see. We have autumn, or harvest. So you're going to be, now this is your opportunities column. So you're going to be receiving some sort of a harvest, which is nice. Something that you've put work into is going to pay off. You do have here the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is Saturn and Capricorn energy. And there are new opportunities on the horizon. What do you see in the background? A ship, right? Be ready to demonstrate your skill, right? But be sure not to miss it because you're too busy with these things up in the air, right? These things that never seem to go away, these things that take up a lot of your time. You may miss that opportunity. We don't want that. We don't want that for you. You have next justice. I like that. That's nice. Libra energy, right? If you have a legal situation going on, it's probably it's a good omen that it's going to turn out in your favor. Definitely any unfairness will be rebalanced with this card coming in the way it has. You have these two cards that came out together. One is the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands is Jupiter in Sagittarius. You will have the opportunity for an interlude with someone who will offer you something that can make you feel alive and whole and like a very healing human being. Yeah, there is something going on with another person where you're going to feel very healed. And it's either you're working really hard, or you've been drained, or you've been going through something. I don't know what it is, but somebody is there with their very healing energy. Look for this in a 9-day, right? The 19th, a number 9, right? It could be 9 a.m., 9 p.m., the 19th, or the 9th, or the 29th, right? Definitely something to do with the number 9. And here you have the Seven of Cups again, right? We had it up here, and we have it here again. And I like this side, right? This side's a little different. You can see he looks a little confused on this side, right? But this is nice. These are all really good choices. Remember I said the card of choices was up here? Yeah, you have Venus and Scorpio energy. Choices abound. Pleasant ones, may I ask. This is a nice problem to have. It's a nice problem to have. So you're going to have choices to make. You're going to have decisions to make, and that's not a bad thing. This is your opportunities column. So that's really nice. When we add this up and we break it down, we get the number 11, which is a bridging number, right? It's a cardinal number. It's the initiator. You're going to be initiating certain things, starting certain things, right? With that spark card, you're going to be, it's a bridging number where you're going to be walking from one location to another, metaphorically speaking, in your life. And so you're going to end up in a place that may not, maybe you're going to end up in a place that was much better than what you even imagined. Okay? You just have to keep the faith, and you cannot miss any opportunities that come your way. Doing it because you're doing mundane things, because you're busy. You know what I'm saying? You have ash. And when I see ash, I see the past. Yeah, that's what ash is. It is seeds. Seeds from the past, memory, ancestors, something that happened in the past. We talked about that more than once during this reading, right? Ash represents what has come before you see, before the ash. The fire is over, and now the flames took with it all recognizable forms of what was, right? So now you only have the memories. It's time to look back and sift through what has happened, right? You're in the realm of ancestors, past relationships. Those that have passed to another realm live here. And you have to be very gentle with the process. We talked about that because it's delicate, it's sacred. The ash card asks us to tend to the true nature of endings and letting go. And you may be present with others experiencing loss. That could be. I have a feeling it's you, though. It's either loss that you've experienced a long time ago, or loss you may be experiencing now. When in doubt, you have to be like ash, right? It's silken, it's light, it's easily carried by the wind. Definitely, it definitely is Phoenix-like, but it's deeper than that. If you could It's deeper than that. It is deeper than that. You do rise from these ashes, but you have to examine them first, if that makes sense. Now, when we add up all the numbers in this reading and we break them down, we get the number 7, which is Neptune, right? It's Pisces. It is illusion, delusion. It's confusion. There is something confusing about this ash. Something you may push away. I don't know. But there is also something else. There's other things going on that may be a little bit confusing to you when you're presented with all these choices. This could be confusing. It could be confusing energy. You don't know which way to go. Could be. The number that came out the most in this reading was number 5, which is Mercury, right? This Mercury retrograde is going to be a big deal for you because, listen to this, the planet that came out the most was also Mercury. The signs that came out the most was Virgo, which is Mercury-based sign, and Sagittarius, which is Jupiter. So you have that expansive energy, you have that mercurial energy, and you also have that a little bit of Neptune for good measure. So it's an interesting combination. The signs that we talked about were Pisces, Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Leo, Capricorn, Aries, Virgo, Gemini, Taurus, Libra, and of course Sagittarius. I wish you nothing but the best, Taurus. Don't forget to listen to your birthday reading. It is 3 blessings coming to Taurus between 2025 and 2026. I will see you next month. Namaste.